Welcome to Retro Scale Modelling. This is part 5 of Airfix's Blackburn Buccaneer S2C. Scale is 172. In this part, I'm going to be doing a little bit of sanding, but predominantly working on the landing gear and placing some other small bits and pieces onto the kit. So let's jump into this and see how well I get on. Picking up where I last left off, part 4. Starting the sanding process. As you can see, I've already done one part. It's not all the sanding, that's just the initial sanding process. So I'm taking a heavy file initially, and I'm just taking all the top coarse stuff off first of all. So any excess filler, which there's quite a lot of, and bringing it down to the seam line. And then I'm just working down different gradients of sandpaper, whether I'm using a stick or a piece of actual paper itself, and just bringing it all down nice and flat and level. It takes quite a while, this process. But once the sand is done, I can get back to the actual build. So I'm just placing on some of the underside components here, some air brakes, I think they are, parts of the catapult, and as you can see there, just got several pieces to add onto that. I've just lined up on the map. They're very small. If I zoomed in on the camera anymore, they would all be blurred. So they are quite difficult to make out, but they go around between the nose and the tail fin. So I'm using Humbrol 87 steel grey, and this is for the landing gear. So that's the struts mainly. Also the bay doors for the inside of them, and the centre part of the wheel. For the tyres, I'm using Life Colour Black Rubber Shades Tyre Black. This is a very good black for tyres, and for a dusty black as well. You can always use the vulcanized colour from Life Colour. Life Colour are very good paints for this sort of shading. Once the paint's dry, it's time to assemble the wheels. It's just a simple case with these of placing the wheel onto the strut, and then I can place in the wheel. First of all is the piston strut to go in. That goes in about midsection. It's an idea to place this in before you put the strut in with the wheel. It just makes it a little bit easier when you're joining the two up. Of course, you can assemble it before placing it in, but I found this works a lot better. So as you can see there, once the wheel's in, I just push the two of them together and it goes into its little location slot. The main wheels I've made up the exactly same way, so I don't see the point of showing you them. I'm just placing them inside now. The location points are at the end of each side wall. One part actually goes inside the sidewall, which there's a little location joint for that to happen. So now I'm on to a bit of painting, and I'm using Humbrol's 123 Extra Dark Sea Grey, and I'm just painting where the hook goes, the grab hook, before I place that in, because obviously that's going to have the main colour sitting underneath it, so you want to paint that in first. And the colour 123 Extra Dark Sea Grey, which I just used, I'm carrying on using it. This is the outer doors area for the landing gear, and this will be the main colour of the entire Buccaneer anyway. So things are coming together now with the painting, adding on one or two little parts. There's a small assembly needing to be done for the actual grab hook itself. That's just the little bracket that holds it in place. So once that's on, I can then place it inside its housing. And once that's in place, there's also a little wishbone type piece that's got to go in, which I am placing in now. And now I'm putting on the bay doors. As you saw that I painted them on this spray, I touched them up once they came off. They will need touches up here and there once I get to the main actual painting. So I placed the Probar now. I generally leave these to last, but this is quite a thick one, so I thought I would get away with placing it on now. It goes at a slight angle, but the location point does reflect that. Next is to make up the wing that I cut off. Now, these are a simple construction, but the thing to bear in mind with this is, because I'm having the wings folded, there's an additional part that goes on. Also, there's another wing piece that you don't put on. That each one has the option of having a larger piece to a smaller piece on the bracket area. So you want to keep a lookout for that. You don't want to get them mixed up or they won't fit. So as you can see here, I'm using the main colour again, 123 Extra Dark Sea Grey, to paint the entire model. So I'm starting the process now using a flat brush and just painting it in one general direction, keeping it nice and smooth. I should point out though, it was very hot the day I painted this, and the paint was drying far too quickly on the model. It's one of these mistakes that I made that I shouldn't have made. This one I can see where I went wrong. My brush wasn't moist enough when I was putting this paint on, so sometimes I went on a little bit heavier than I would have liked. So just putting the last touches to the paint now, just making sure every part of the surface is covered and it's nice and even. And also, while I've got the paint out, I'm going to be painting the weapon systems. So it's the Dark Sea Grey once more, and then to assemble them, it's just the two halves going together. Now these will need additional painting before I attach them. For the varnish, I'm using Pledge Clear Polish for this. Now I'm having to do it at this stage now because I'll be placing on the decals before the weapon system is added. I'm using Rebel Aquacolor 90 Silver here to paint what part of the main body of the weapon, and then it's Humbrol 53 Gunmetal for the rest of it. And before I put the decals on, there's two little brackets I have to place in inside the wing. This is the counterpart to the brackets I placed in the wing root on the actual build. But now it's time to place the decals on. And since these decals take a while to dry, this is a good place to end the video. So if you haven't done so already, why don't you check out the channel for my other builds. If you subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell and you'll be updated of all my videos and this video, of course, and upcoming videos. Hit that like button, leave a comment, and don't forget to share the video. But for now, thank you all very much for watching. Bye bye.